neo-reactionaries basically believe that positive or negative political action is pretty much doomed to failure and is actually counterproductive. And a lot of people don't like that because, they feel like they want to do something, which is a natural drive, right? People naturally feel like they need to do something to fix this problem, this civilizational level problem that we have right now, where, everything is just running amok and nothing is working, and the culture is just in this completely bottom level state where, all of our values have been undermined, and, everything that the cathedral propagates is just an anathema to us. And you want to change that, but the fact is, you don't actually have the power to change that, especially not if you view your power as a vote or as any sort of democratic power. And a lot of people get very disenthused by this observation of neo-reactionaries that there's really very little you can do to change anything at all. So I guess it's up to you if you want to decide if that's a black pill. At the end of the road, you know, neo-reactionaries aren't saying that we're stuck in this forever. It's more like you're just going to have to wait until things are in a position such that they can change, right? Which the way to get to that position is really to just explain to people, how the government actually works. And I think neo-reaction, and we've really only gotten into a little bit of it, offers a very good model of how that actually works. And only once people really understand the power structure of the American state, will they be willing to take the necessary steps to actually do anything about it. In the meantime, if you're trying to oppose the government, which is a very, very, very stable government, all you're doing is sort of feeding it energy, right? Because ultimately all power flows through it. And the United States is actually a very stable government. It's not like the Soviet Union in the 1980s. It's more like the Soviet Union in the 1950s, right? I mean, there's nothing inside the American state that even remotely threatens it as a competing power center, right? All of the American empire's power is consolidated into this one unified oligarchy that's a merger of corporations and state. And until people fully take on board that the democratic system of politics is all just this virtual show, basically as entertainment, right? Politics is just there to entertain, really, to give the masses something to do to distract them from the reality of the oligarchy. As long as people still see that as the real government, then there's really nothing to be done. So, and why is this? Is because, take a look at the example of, Nick Fuentes or the alt-right, as you mentioned. Like, the regime's legitimacy is based on this idea that there are evil fascists running around and they're going to somehow instantiate a fascist coup or something, right? Which is completely ridiculous. The regime depends on this, though, to legitimize itself, because in its own rationalizations for its power, it's telling you that, there are these evil, racist, sexists, fascist people that threaten, all of us, and we have to, do something about it. Well, if you're going to be the person who's basically going to fill those shoes for the regime, then you're giving it the heel, you're giving it the bad guy that actually justifies its existence. So if you want the regime to become less stable to the point where it can actually be altered in some fundamental way, you actually have to just disengage from it, right? You actually have to stop feeding it this political energy, because it loves that energy. It loves to pick a fight.